The Honourable Nikki Wagner.
I'm delighted to talk about conservation, to talk about the blue-greens and why I believe we get the very best outcome for the environment and conservation when the government and the community work together. New Zealanders are intrinsically linked to the environment. It's in our DNA and we're proudly protective of it. Spending time in the great outdoors, at the beach, in the mountains, enjoying the rivers and lakes, and more often these days, contributing to an environmental project is part of our kaupapa. National's blue-green principles are close to our hearts and underpin the holistic view of New Zealanders that looking after the environment goes hand in hand with a healthier economy and the well-being and quality of life of all New Zealanders. More than a third of New Zealand's land mass and of our marine environment, especially since the announcement of the fabulous Kermadec Sanctuary, is now protected for its conservation values. And conservation boards represent the people of New Zealand and give us all a voice in the management of our public land and sea. Since our review in 2013, conservation boards have become more diverse and better connected to their communities. They work hand in hand with DOC, but their focus is strategic on planning and management and encouraging as many New Zealanders as possible to get involved with environmental issues, activities in national parks and conservation areas, and to take part in community conservation initiatives. And thousands do. Many thousand do. DOC works with 1,216 registered community conservation groups, and they are involved in everything from killing pests, monitoring birds, planting projects, research, and generally contributing to better conservation outcomes. And one of them is the exciting high-profile Project Jansoon in the Abel Tasman Park, which has just recently won the highest award by the United Nations for community conservation and environment protection. And that's a fantastic achievement on their part. But there are many other groups, much smaller and less high profile, but equally as important and valued in their communities. And on top of that, 15,000 volunteers work with DOC facilitated programs, and these numbers are growing every year, and they're incredibly dedicated and hard-working people. Last year, they contributed 30,000 work days, and again, they do everything: repairing tracks, trapping pests, babysitting seal pups, and some of the more less glamorous things such as administration and data entry. Over the last few months, I've been visiting groups that DOC has supported financially through the Community Conservation Partnership grants. And that's all about seed funding. It's about seed funding and giving a kickstart to new community projects, conservation work that local groups want to get underway. And it's based on a powerful community action model of encouraging local collaboration around a conservation campaign and delivering cumulative results. And it's brilliant because people involved can immediately see how they can make a difference, and then because they're working together, they can see really meaningful results. And a great example of that is the Brook Waimarama Sanctuary in Nelson. DOC contributed $127,000 to that as a kickstart, but 37 other community groups, including schools and the local council, are getting involved, and the project has morphed into a $500,000 project, connecting local communities. So that's the aim of it in the short term, increasing the bird life within the sanctuary, and in the long term, delivering a halo effect for all the neighbours across the city. Conservation is good for New Zealand.
Well done.